right, welcome to the Scarlet Faithful podcast. I'm Aaron Breitman, coming to you on Monday, August 28th, mere minutes after three-star forward Dylan Grant has committed to Rutgers men's basketball. Class of 2024, a little bit of a late push on Dylan Grant. Visited not too long ago, and Rutgers landed him pretty quickly. So I'm sure there's some questions as to what this all means for 2024. So let's get into it. So first off, I really like the pickup. In terms of rankings wise, he's the number 2 recruit in Michigan in the class of 2024 per 24/7 composite rankings. He's a top 50 power forward nationally, and he's just on the fringe of 200. He's a 3-star recruit. ESPN does have him at 4 stars. Everything I've read and kind of watched on him, and he's a little bit of a late bloomer in terms of developing offensively. He's developed a shot of late. He's becoming a better shooter, but you can't deny the athleticism and the versatility. He can attack the rim. He plays above the rim. He was 5th in the EYBL this past summer in dunks. He had a really good showing at the Peach Jam in July. Plays for the Family, which is the AAU program that Rutgers assistant coach Marlon Williamson used to run and coach. Also, teammates there with Darius Acuff Jr. and Trey McKinney, 2 high-level recruits that Rutgers is involved with in the 2025 class. Trey McKinney's a 5-star kid, number 10 in the 25 class. Already confirmed an official visit to campus on homecoming weekend, October 13th, 14th. So, obviously, great relationship there. Marlon Williamson, new assistant. We'll get to him in a minute. But in terms of Grant and what he brings to the table, he looks like a Big Ten player to me. He plays very, very physical. He can defend multiple positions. He plays inside and out. He's a very aggressive rebounder. He plays with a high motor. He does have, in some recent footage I saw, he's got a little bit of a touch on his shot. I think that's a developing part of his game, but he has explosiveness. Getting to the rim, he can draw contact. He looks like a kid that when he gets into a program and he can put on weight and get stronger for a year, he's going to be a force. I really think he's going to end up being a steal. And I know it's easy to say that, when the kid maybe is a little bit under-recruited, underrated, had offers from Cincinnati and DePaul, as well as a bunch of mid-majors. VCU's another one, but not a ton of high-major offers. But again, I think he really kind of showed out this summer and really emerged on the EYBL circuit. He does having a very good high school career as well in Michigan, but I think he put a stamp on things that on the EYBL, which is obviously the premier AAU circuit there is, and he just looks like a Pikiell player, a guy that plays really hard, that can do multiple things. And he's an example. I've talked about this in the past of, the way Steve Pikiell has adapted and developed the program in getting kids to buy into the program early on, playing defense and rebounding. And then he's just added that talent level as he's gone on. And this is a kid that does all those things that fit the culture of the program, but he's got legit talent. He's only 6'7", but he can dunk with the best of them, but it's just his mentality. He's aggressive. He's got a good first step. When he gets open in space, he can explode at the rim. He attacks the glass on the boards, which is something they really need. And I just think that, having that relationship with Marlon Williamson, he's going to know what to expect coming to the program. I included quotes from Joe Tipton on 3 that Grant spoke with him about why he picked Rutgers and just talked about the vibes and the culture and also in terms of Pikiell and how he develops players. It was all really good stuff. And he just talked about his own game and being a versatile player and being a hard worker. And, he's going to have an opportunity. Now, in terms of what does this mean for the 2024 class, people are wondering, right? It's a 4th commitment in the 2024 class, and Dylan Harper still is to decide. Does this impact Dylan Harper's decision? Absolutely not. In terms of their completely different positions, and believe me, Rutgers is holding a spot for Dylan Harper, who could announce any day, could announce in a couple months. We really don't know. It's been up and down in terms of what people have thought when he might announce. The point is, Steve Pikiell is stockpiling talent in the class of 24, and he is striking while the iron is hot. And I really like that strategic move on his end. He is no longer worrying about plugging in pieces in terms of numbers. Listen, he's not going to be. This isn't a Alabama, Arkansas situation where they're, or Rick Pitino, where they're going to recruit 16 guys for 13 spots. But he knows he has said this on the record. Mentioned it last week when I had him on the podcast, just in terms of 1-year teams, and you can't read too far ahead, right? And the thing about the 24 class, if Dylan Harper does commit, is they'll likely have 2 one-and-done recruits in the 24 class between Dylan Harper and Ace Bailey, both single-digit projections for the NBA lottery. Probably both right now projected top 5, top 6, top 7 for the 2025 NBA draft. So he's stockpiling talent in the 2024 class, and he's going to figure out the roster. But they're going to have 3 guaranteed open spots. Cliff Amari is unlikely to stay. He's said as much. Things can always change. But you're going to have transfers every year. You're going to have influx. You're going to have people leave, and him taking advantage of the momentum he's created and the programs created in the 24 class makes a ton of sense. And what is he doing? Lathan Somerville, Bryce Dortch, and now Dylan Grant, 3 really physical, aggressive, versatile, athletic guys that all play differently. And there's room for all of them. And what he's doing is that he's creating a long-term talent stack in the program. So these are guys these are not one and done guys. I mean, we've never had that at Rutgers before. If we do get Ace Bailey and Dylan Harper, that will be a new thing for us. But the point is, if both those guys come and they leave after 1 year, the program's going to be well stocked with intriguing talent that fits the program. And that's why I think it makes sense. If you could take 5 guys that you really like in the 24 class, you take them. And the other thing about this is there's only 1 more COVID year left. 2. This one and then 24, 25, right? Then after that, there is no 5th year for players that were involved with COVID. So then teams will get younger, right? So stockpiling younger talent now. We know that Steve Pikiell, prefers developing players versus working the portal. He's done a good job, I think, of working the portal when he's needed to. But getting 3 guys like Somerville, Dortch, and Grant now, 3 guys that are all really intriguing, can all have different skill sets, all have upside in different ways, and can play multiple positions, defend multiple positions. I've written before about Steve Pikiell's kind of desire. He's been quoted about Michigan in the past with John Beilein, about how it was a very positionless team. He had Mo Wagner, playing out of the perimeter, much more of an NBA style, where there were no specific positions, and he's recruiting like it. Grant, Dortch, and Somerville, if they were all 3 on the floor at the same time in 2 to 3 years, Rutgers is going to be really physical, really versatile, really athletic, and really hard to defend and unpredictable. Not to mention with all the other talent that could be out on the floor with them. So I really love this move, and I just love the mentality of Steve Pikiell and the coaching staff for being aggressive in the 24 class. They're being aggressive in the 25 class in terms of going after all this 5-star top tier talent. And they're just utilizing this momentum of, having Ace Bailey verbally committed, the whole country, on the edge of the seat of their pants on the recruitment of Dylan Harper. And Steve Pikiell is just continuing to grind on the recruiting trail. And I love this pickup. Now, Marlon Williamson, was a hire that, looking back on it, it makes a lot of sense from a recruiting perspective. He brings Rutgers a different geographical footprint, different connections. And this, now Michigan, Grant being the number 2 player in Michigan, coming from the family, his former AAU program. You have all these other top kids that are in that program that Rutgers is after. Getting Trey McKinney on a visit in October is a little bit of that's huge. It's all positive, and you have to give Pikiell credit Brandon Knight, who obviously has a relationship with Marlon Williamson. Well, Marlon Williamson, I said it, he's gotten them involved with a lot of high-end kids, but they got to land some kids too. Obviously, Grant, listen, recruiting stars, all that, he's 3 stars, but I do think this kid has got a potential to be a major factor for Rutgers in the future. And this is hopefully the first of many recruits that Marlon Williamson brings into the program. And it's a good start. It's a really good start. I think it's full of upside. And it's intriguing. If Williamson can recruit, even just close to the level that TJ Thompson and Brandon Knight have recruited at the last couple of years, Rutgers is just going to keep getting deeper and more talented year after year after year. And that's the way C. Pikiell wants to do it through high school. Yes, he's going to have to supplement things through the portal. You always will have to. But the more high-end kids you can get that want to be there, that want to develop, that want to play his style, and they continue to get better offensively because they have more talented kids, but they're still playing super hard. They're still defending. They're still rebounding. I mean, that's how you win. That's how you win in college basketball. I mean, look at the Villanovas, the Pittsburghs. I know I'm forgetting a couple, but he's building it like that, and it's really intriguing, really exciting. And this was something that appeared to come out of nowhere, but this has been brewing, I think, for a few weeks now. And ever since he visited Dylan Grant, definitely seemed like a very strong possibility. And now you have 4 commits. You already had the number 2 class in the 24 class. Now you have Dylan Grant right outside of the top 200. Rutgers is right there. So Dylan Harper, people wait. Now, I did want to just say, too, just the knuckleheads out there that are making jokes about Dylan, Dylan Harper. I thought this wasn't the Dylan we wanted. Grow up. Seriously, be an adult. This kid deserves our respect. He's going to be a player for this program, and he's going to be an impact player for this program. I truly believe that. I've watched a lot of film of him recently, and he has the look that with the right coaching, with the right development, with the right strength training, he's a Big Ten player. He's a legit Big Ten player, and I think this could end up being a steal. And give him his proper respect, in terms of comparing him to Dylan Harper. Dylan Harper's his own thing. Dylan Harper will get his moment when he wants his moment, and obviously it would be the biggest recruit that Rutgers has gotten in a long time. We all love the family. We all love Ron, but this is Dylan Grant, and this kid deserves his own attention and his own respect, and he's going to be a player, a legit player for Rutgers. So I think this is a very good pickup. This is my rapid reaction. I don't know if I have anything else to say. I'm rambling a bit now, but I hope you are as excited as I am about this kid. 24. Listen, it's a super athletic class. I've talked about this before about how they all fit. They're all a little bit different. And it just fits into the philosophy of Steve Pikiell, wanting to play positionless basketball and being able to use different lineups and different rotations. And you're seeing it with this current team, which I spoke with him about last week, playing more up-tempo, shooting more threes, but also just being more athletic. And he harped on that quite a bit in my interview with him. And this class is even, more athletic than what the team is looking at right now. And that's just, as the talent level improves, the athleticism is going to improve. He's going to continue to recruit versatile kids, and he's going to continue to recruit kids that fit the culture, that are in the gym, work their butts off, defend and rebound. And it's just raising the trajectory of the program over time. And Dylan Grant is the latest example of that. Thank you for listening and watching this episode of the Scarlet Faithful podcast.